Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. My name is Jason. Today, welcome to Whiskey Review into the Glen Scotia 25-year-old. So this is a bottle I picked up as it was part of one of my birthday celebrations. Many of you guys know I'm just like literally now a year older than that. But it was something kind of special that I wanted to celebrate with, and Glen Scotia is one of those whiskies that when I saw the 25 and I tried it, I had to buy a bottle of this. So I poured myself a dram, let it have some time to breathe, and as their distillery's motto is time honoured, I'd highly suggest give the whiskey a little bit of time to open out. And they do have a saying, not in Campbelltown, but all over Scotland, when it says a whiskey's been aged, so if it's 25 years in the casks, it's at least 25 minutes in the glass, just to let it breathe, open out, and just sort of, it's almost like stretching itself a bit. So, in terms of the age of this whiskey, it is a 25-year-old whiskey. Yes, it's rather old. This is actually the top of the Glen Scotia range, if memory serves me well. In terms of the actual ABV, this is bottled at 48.8%. The actual cask selection in this one are specially selected casks, and then they're married together in these first fill bourbon barrels. So it is rather unique, a little bit of mystery over there, but we do know it's married together in first fill bourbon. In terms of the distillery, is the Glen Scotia Distillery. They're owned by the parent company, the Loch Lomond Group, and they are located in Campbelltown, Scotland. And it's a fantastic place, and I can't stress that enough. I really like going to Campbelltown. I think I've got a bit of a soft spot for Campbelltown. But in terms of the price, this is where everyone's going to be like, Jason, what is the price on that bottle? Now, for me, I paid £270. Its current price on most of the websites here, Master Malt Whisky Exchange, Amazon, is £275 as well. So it's round about the same price that I paid. So if you can, if you're interested in this bottle, it is a very decent price bottle, because I always say 25-year-old whiskey should be in and about at least £250 as its bracket. Now, in terms of the overall exclusivity of this whiskey, is it exclusive? The answer to that is no. It is part of the core range, so you will be seeing this from year to year. So don't think it's going to be super rare. But it is very unique in itself. Now, in terms of the actual whiskey itself, when was it actually brought into the Glen Scotia range? Now, Glen Scotia went under a little bit of a redecoration, so they had this new style of bottles created, and this one only joined the range last year. It's very new to pretty much everyone. It was brought out in 2017, so that's when it was released. It is one of the most earliest, or the latest, I think it's the most latest expression released by the Glen Scotia Distillery, and we get to try it here today. So, without further ado, let's begin by jumping straight into the nose. Slanger. So to begin on the nose with the Glen Scotia 25, oh my goodness, this has something that I really love in it. And that I know straight off the back is that's like candle waxy essence about it. And that's something I really love in my whiskies. It does have that maritime, that salty character, slightly just hovering around on the nose. But then you're getting a bit of these orchard fruits, you're getting a little bit of apple, a little bit of pear. For me, I'm thinking this is like an apple crumble. And this is like a cooled apple crumble. You've left it out, you've let it have time, let it just cool down a bit, and you can just smell that sweet aroma, that almost like maybe a dusting of a bit of icing sugar on the top of this apple crumble to add to that little bit of a sweeter, appley character. It then has notes of almost like a soft smoke. And when I say soft smoke, it's not like a bonfire smoke. This is like a matchstick. You've lit a matchstick, you're just blowing it out for the fun, and you can smell that sort of little whiff of smoke. Almost that little phenolic character just in the aroma on the nose. And then there is a slight essence for me that is almost like a fruit salad. More like melon, honeydew melon. And for me there's also this, there's like a little, almost like a dusty, almost like a dunnage warehouse. Like when you walk in there, there's been so much time. It's almost like the age of this whiskey is given off by that little bit of like, it's like one note that just gives it away that it's an older whiskey. It's rather unique in its own sense. But minus that, I'm looking forward to jumping in on the taste of this one. So, into the palate, Slanger. So overall, on the palate for the Glen Scotia 25, it's one of those whiskies that I would recommend. As soon as you take a sip of this, roll it around. Hold it there for at least 20 seconds. Just keep rolling it around the palate. Let it coat everything. And you're going to get this texture develop. It's kind of almost like a light medium on arrival. But then it goes into a much more richer, much more oilier character. As it develops, it becomes waxier. You get these little bit of those pears again. These are stewed pears. A little bit of apples coming through. It's almost like got a toffee apple character where you get that little bit of sweetness. The nose has actually changed in the time I've left it, just as I've just been leaving there and doing this review. And I'm getting more of that sort of the grapefruit character. It's got a bit more citrus, a little bit of heat, a bit more spice. I'm going to have a second sip, and we'll get down to those last few notes. So from the second sip, a lot more of that grapefruit's coming through now. It's like grapefruit zest, a very nice, ripe grapefruit. You get a little bit of this almost like a gingerly sort of heat. As it's sort of the gingery character sort of warms up the palate, you're then going into, I'm thinking like red gala apples. And a slight undertone character of the whole thing, where it's almost got this character of salted almonds, where it's just enough, but it feels like you're almost even biting into salted almonds because the character has got so much of richness to it, a nice viscosity and a nice oily character. So palate, that's a really good palate, I think. For a 25-year-old Campbelltown whiskey, that's superb. Let's get into the finish and we'll come to our conclusions on the Glen Scotia 25-year-old. So finally, on the Glen Scotia 25, the finish of this whiskey is very different than what I was initially expecting from the palate. You do get that stem ginger character. It does hold itself quite well, and it gives you that little bit of heat. It does hold itself more along the sides of the palate, more on the mid, maybe a slight bit on the back palate. You get that almost that musty, almost that dunnage character, really showing off this one's age as a whole. Not really drying, but you do get a slight, it's like a worn old leathery character. And then as you sort of let it go and you just fade, as it fades ever so slightly, a little bit of almost like a blood orange. It's like the blood orange oils, or even a little bit of that zest where you just sort of get a knife and you just peel the top of it. You get that bit of that oils in the air and a bit of that zesty character. So I'm going to keep this down here. I'm going to give you guys my rating. And for this one, I'm giving this one an easy 91 out of 100. I actually just realized over there it says bottled in 2017. So that means it's distilled in 1992 or maybe before that. So rather interesting. It's from my birth year. Again, another whiskey. But anyway, guys, in terms of the whiskey, all in all, it does have a very nice balance. It's got a nice complexity. Overall character of this whiskey, it does offer a lot more than you would expect. It's definitely way better than the 16. I have to try the 18 because I tried that today at the Whisky Lounge here in London. And that one really had a nice character. But for me personally, the Glen Scotia 25 offers miles more. And I can see why the pricing is as it is at. It is, I think, rather reasonable at value for money. It's where I normally position 25-year-old whiskies. Like if you compare it to Highland Park 25 or Mortlach 25, a very good example of a whiskey that's at £600 for a half litre. Whereas this one here, you're paying $270 and you're getting a 70 CL. You're getting a full bottle for it. So in that side, justification of the price, I like this one as a whole. So value for money, I'd say yes. Doesn't need water, doesn't need time. It's completely optional to yourself. You can drink this one neat. It's that smooth. However, if you do want to add a little bit of water to this one, it will do no harm in it whatsoever. It'll probably reduce that little bit of gingery aspect and enhance those flavors on that slight little bit of citrus. So it is actually recommended if you want to do add water. And overall, I really like this whiskey. It's something that I quite enjoy. And you can see, I took this to a few of my friends in London, and that's just pretty much gone down all the way. So it's been loved quite well. It's going to be sad to see that one go, but it'll be something I'll probably replace. So anyway, on that note, if you have enjoyed the video, I'm going to let you guys drop it a thumbs up. Be also sure to hit the subscribe button, as that does help us out greatly. And be sure to check out some other Glen Scotia videos on screen. But that's been me, JasonWhiskyWise, Mr. Bananas, and we'll catch you all for the next video. Slanger!